Welcome to D&H Solutions Lab, folks. D&H Solutions Lab is built to inform and connect you and your customers through remote and hands-on training sessions using live webcasts, in-house trainings, and on-demand videos. Today's session is specifically on Lenovo's Infrastructure Solutions Group, ISG, a new addition to the D&H family of offerings. We have a special offer for those who stay until the end of the webcast, but for now, let's get started. My name is Adrian Ng. I'm your moderator today, and I'll be moderating the speakers and the chat box as we take questions throughout the webcast. I'm also the pre-sales solutions architect brought on by Lenovo to D&H Canada, specifically to spearhead and support Lenovo ISG at D&H Canada. My responsibility in this role is to help you with anything from building configurations, deal registration, special bid requests, to hopping on calls with you and your customers to design a server storage solution and more. You know, what you'd call pre-sales. My email address should be on your screen on the top right, up in the upper right-hand corner right now, if you want to make note of that. Just a couple more lines about myself. I have over 20 years of experience in pre-sales solution design of servers, storage, and networking. I started back in the day in the early 2000s at a company called IBM, whose x86 server product line later became Lenovo's x86 server product line. So I know a little bit about the heritage and the quality of the product, the people, the process, and I believe it is for those reasons that I was brought on to lead this team at D&H. Lastly, in the last 8 years, I have worked at a number of resellers and service providers, large and small. So I understand the focus on making margin in the channel and the focus of competing and the challenge of competing, in the channel and working with distribution and vendors as well. We just launched Lenovo ISG at D&H Canada this summer, and I've been overwhelmed by the welcome I received, not just from the D&H family, but also from the D&H partner community as well. They say the people at D&H is what sets the company apart from the competition, and that is true. But specifically for me, it's you, the D&H partner community, that has made such a welcome mark on my time here. So thank you to all of those of you that's already reached out and worked with me, and some of you even helped work together to close some deals together. And I look forward to working with all of you to do the same and more. Once again, the Lenovo Canada ISG shared mailbox is on this slide. Please send your requests to me there, and we can get started working together right away. Now, the title for today's webcast is One Future Unleashed, One Lenovo and ISG. And I've invited some guest speakers from Lenovo to say a few words for us. We have Wasim Syed, the National Inside Channel Account Manager for ISG. He's covering One Lenovo and ISG, how to grow your ISG business with Lenovo, and a review of some of our ThinkSystem servers. We also have Jason McCauley, Senior Manager, ISG Canada. He'll be discussing the SMB state of the business and Lenovo's commitment to the channel, as well as some ISG promotions. We also have Todd Fredericking, Strategic Alliances at Lenovo. He'll talk to us about the current state of VMware and the Lenovo response. And last but not least, we have Lisa McWilliams, Account Manager from Lenovo Canada, and she'll have some words to say about a Lenovo D&H exclusive offer for those who stay for the full webcast. Once again, we will be taking questions throughout the webcast. Please add them to the question box on your screen. Now, let's get started. Let's turn things over to Wasim.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you very much, and welcome everyone from the D&H family and our partners across Canada, who really appreciate you guys jumping on this call. Like Adrian said, my name is Wasim. I'm the National Account Manager inside sales in the channel. So I'll be working with many of you probably for your ISG requests and any questions you may have about it. So let's jump into a little bit here. So first of all, why One Lenovo? What is One Lenovo? Well, in a nutshell, it's basically unifying our main business silos of ISG, which is Infrastructure Solutions Group, IDG, which stands for Intelligent Devices Group, and SSG, Service and Solution Group. Basically now, I'll just break down what all three of them do. ISG covers servers, data center, storage, and services. That's my wheelhouse. IDG covers laptops, desktops, workstations, and peripherals, like keyboards, mice, monitors, that kind of thing. You're going to have an IDG rep assigned to you and an ISG rep. If you want to reach out to me individually, or I'll get a list later and figure out who's who and send you guys intros based on that. And when required, a rep for the services team. Now, ISG leverages Lenovo's innovative hardware, like our ThinkSystem and Think Agile solutions. SSG offers, as a service portfolio, everything from warranties, post warranties, managed services, and TrueScale, which is our newest, about a year and a half and change in full swing service. That's basically everything as a service to offer more flexible IT infrastructures on demand, subscription, or pay as you go. So here we go here. Why is One Lenovo good for you? Basically, the main purpose is you can promote that you are a full Lenovo shop offering everything that we have to offer. And we will work in conjunction, we will work in tandem with you to help promote that message. Lenovo brings a breadth of technology to address today's pain points and tomorrow's challenges. So what do you get with Lenovo ISG? You get solutions from edge to the cloud. If you need assistance putting together a configuration, we have our technical experts available from our Let's team, and we also have Adrian's expert tutelage as well on the technical side. We can assist you. We can all sit down and go through your request and environment and come up with the right solution that's right for you. That's right for your customer and for you guys. Now, coming over to Lenovo, wrong one here. Here we go. There we go. Here we have Lenovo now, like all the other major outlets out there, have tiering requirements for our partners. Now, the partner program here is designed to help you, our partners, grow your business and increase your profitability by providing you with the tools, resources, and support you need to succeed. You can find everything you need in the Lenovo Partner Hub as well. Now, we basically have the different partner levels that Lenovo offers is platinum, gold, silver, and authorized. Now, each level provides different benefits and requirements, and partners can progress through the levels as they meet those specific sales targets and requirements. I cover partners who are on the authorized and silver space. Now, Lenovo's ISG covering partner program offers a range of benefits to its partners, including product discounts, marketing support, training, and certification programs, and access to everything that's in the portal there. These benefits are designed to help partners increase their revenue, improve their technical skills, and expand their market research. Now, if you guys have any questions with relation to any of the stuff that you find in the portal with respect to ISG, reach out to me anytime. I don't care how small you may think the question is or insignificant. There is no insignificant. Everything is valid. So reach out to me for whatever. And if you're not sure where to go to, reach out to me. I'll make sure I'll get you to the right place you need to go to. Now, here we go here. Now, the requirements that start at the beginning of our fiscal year, which is April. Now, authorized partners, the revenue requirements is pretty much $1 to $124,999. So if you sell anything in that number, you're automatically in the authorized partner program. Okay. Now the silver tier, which is the next tier up, starts at 125K, and it goes all the way up to 500K. After which you go to gold, and then you go to platinum, and there's also combinations of them which we can go into later. Now, I don't want anyone to get like sort of sticker shock when they see those numbers, because this doesn't have to be straight revenue. That these include multipliers. What are multipliers? Well, basically for specific products and events, Lenovo will multiply your revenue amounts, so it'll help you get to that next tier level. So, for example, if you purchase a storage-related product with Lenovo, it comes with a multiplier of 8. So if you spend 10K in storage, that number all of a sudden jumps up to 80K, and you're more than halfway to your revenue requirement for silver tier status. So something good to note there. Here we go here. Now also with regards to, as along with the revenues requirements, there's also certification requirements for every tier. For the authorized space, you don't need any certifications. You can just what you don't have to worry about getting in that in terms of requirements for that tier. But if you want to engage and get you or your staff up to speed on the latest Lenovo ISG offerings, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to share with you the courses and webinars that are available for you. Now, the silver tier status is not that much higher. Like I said, it's 125K and up to 500K. Now, basically, aside from the revenue, you just need to have one certification. There's various options available to you with these certification requirements. So just reach out to me and I can let you guys know which are the ones that are available to you and how easy or hard they may be. Now, sorry about that. One more thing here. Finally, Lenovo has what we call the Medallion Match program. If you are a gold tier partner or higher with any competitor, we will automatically switch you over to the gold tier status with Lenovo. That's a huge jump. So you're not losing anything making the switch to Lenovo from any of our competitors. So this is something I really wanted to point out because I've been getting those questions a lot. Now, I think that's pretty much it here. For the first thing, we're going to do our first poll question here, I believe. We're going to go in here. Here we go. Yeah. So if we can answer for me, if anybody can, have you sold Lenovo ISG portfolio in the last however long, month, 6 months, 1 year, never? Love to know that. And with that being said, I am going to throw to Jason McCauley now. Jason, here you go, bud.
Oh, Thank you, Wasim. Thank you, Wasim. Appreciate you. And hello, friends of D&H and friends of Lenovo. Appreciate you having on the call. Thank you for taking a valuable time. I went through the attendee list and I see a couple of familiar names that I may have worked with in the past. So that's always heartwarming. I love the fact that for those who've responded, hopefully it's more than one, that we've someone sold Lenovo in the last month. Obviously want to have that as a repeat thing for you. So your experience on this call is really important, as well as your experience with Lenovo overall, right? So D&H being your distributor of choice, our relationship is strong. It's expanding, and so obviously we have an opportunity to continue to grow together. All right, so with that, we will continue onward. So let me talk a little bit as being a senior manager at Lenovo. I've been in the industry over 25 years, worked at OEMs, 2 different OEMs. This is the second OEM I've worked for. Differentiation is really key to us in the industry. And so from the top down, I would love and really honored to share a message with all of you from our executive team. So Dana Ryan, who leads our infrastructure group throughout North America. She reports into YY, who is our chairman of the board and head of Lenovo. So Dana's direction is that we acknowledge how important the channel, our solutions providers, are for us and key strategic focus. And so as being such an important part of our success, especially in the SMB space, knowing full well that Canada is a mid-market or country, right? Over 90% of the actual employees, people that are working in Canada, are actually affiliated or aligned to small and medium businesses across the country. So more pronounced is the conversations that we're having with the vast majority of customers that fit into this space. And so as a result of that, we want to extend our reach. And so honor, integrity are really important to us. And so we lead with channel here at Lenovo, and we have done in past, and we will continue to do so. So something that Dana has made a direction for any acquisition customer. We have some promos that we can talk about, but for any customer that wants to go direct, we make it really, really, really hard for them. And in fact, in my small business space, which is I wouldn't say it's the lower tier, but one of the segments that I have ownership over, it is partner only. So we do outbounding, we do strategic outbounding, and we will bring back opportunities on the rarity, but when they do happen, we deliver them back to our tiered partners. So really important that the reciprocity is there for our partners, that they're rewarded through the tiering metal program, but also through building relationship with our organization and our team members. So I think that's a great message to share, and I'm happy to do so. Let's take you quickly through our portfolio. Yes, we have it all. I think we would confidently say in the data center, we have everything from nuts to bolts. That includes rack infrastructure, but more importantly, a tremendous heritage portfolio of compute and storage. Starting on the left, we have towers, and then you move through edge servers and all the way through full bore AI servers. We have over 85 certified AI compute nodes that are basically equipped and able to run GPUs for whatever platform your end user customers are looking for. Drawing your attention to Think Edge in the middle bottom there. Small box, disrespectful to the Edge platform, given how strong it's been within our organization. Edge, when you think about AI, these are smaller form factors, environmentally resilient, so they can fit in places that your traditional servers do not go. And when you think about AI, there is a strong, robust requirement of customers to be collecting and collating data at the edge. And so we've been leading in this area in the industry for a number of years, and we've had tremendous success in that. So remember to incorporate in your solutions conversation the full breadth of our portfolio, because a server is not always just a server. They can do a lot of different things depending on the form factor and components within them. Important as well when we're thinking about sustainability and our portfolio is how it's aligned. We are not just number 10 on Gartner's supply chain, which is environmental, social, and governance. Our nearest competitors on the OEM side are about double that rating. We were number 8 a couple years ago and number 9, a couple years ago, and number 8 last year. But we intend to hold the number 10 position or better for years forward. The conversation that I'm talking about around sustainability is also related to the little lime green dots that you're seeing on the far right AI servers, and at the bottom you see Neptune liquid cooling. Neptune liquid cooling is something we've also been doing for well over 10 years. This is an area when you're thinking about AI, if your customers, whether they're private, public, or hybrid type of AIs, the reality here is that they change the dynamic of the data center from a thermal and a capacity standpoint, right? We all know that a footprint of the data center is only as good as the power feeding it, the space within it, and the ability to cool that architecture. Well, Neptune liquid cooling has different variations we're not going to go into today, but you definitely want to engage our infrastructure specialists to have a deeper conversation for some of the bigger projects that you may work on for some of your more complex customers. And that is a return on investment for any customer when you're thinking about architecture like this. A black box is a black box is a black box, as we always say. But now these are things when you're talking about solutions that radically change that from just being a commodity to a total solution. So today and for days forward, we want to make sure that we empower our solutions provider community with knowledge and product that helps them solve problems at the customer site instead of just filling a PO or a work order. All right. And feel free to ask any questions as you go along. We'll try and do our best to answer them in the chat, or afterwards we can certainly get back to you in any way, shape, or form that we have available. And so we'll leave you with another question here before I get on to the next slide. How often is security coming up in your conversations? So never infrequent or regularly. And the reason why we're asking this question, please take the time to respond, is largely because we build security intrinsically into our platforms. So from rootkits, root of trust, back into the BIOS. We also incorporate supply chain security, probably one of the most robust in the world. In fact, we actually build in North America for North America from a data center perspective. So everywhere from Mexico up to Monterey, North Carolina, we are fabricating and manufacturing product there. We do not actually use third-party integrators. We actually are not using Foxconn, for example. We build, manufacture, and design our own stuff. And in fact, we actually ODM a number of products for other familiar brand names that you may see in the industry. And I will talk a little bit more as we go forward when I get to our storage platform. So here we go. So security is coming up. Looks like 100% of the time for all of you. So that means that it is important. And I think in this day and age that we live in, it should be a conversation. That was sort of my expectation that 100% of the people would feel the same. And this is reliably because of the fact that we have a significant number of black hat actors that are constantly trying to make us look bad when we're selling viable and secure solutions to our customers. So with Lenovo, you are getting intrinsic security built from the BIOS out. We incorporate TPM technologies in our PC hardware and all of the other robustness of that. So think about us as an integrator of security into the platforms. And as you know, as Adrian pointed out from his heritage, we also bring that strong heritage into our portfolio, our design, and our considerations for how we solve customer problems with portfolio. Leading to the next part of our portfolio, which elevates it a little bit beyond the box and takes you into think agile and which is really more around software-defined infrastructure. We'll take you a little bit more through that later on. Our strategic software partners, so IBM, Microsoft, Nutanix, Red Hat, Veeam, VMware, SAP, that is only a small few. In addition to these, even if you're talking about AI, we have hundreds of additional partners that we can bring in, software providers, et cetera, when you're talking about SLMs, LLMs, et cetera. So we have far reach just beyond our own state of the nation, which is the data centers, servers, racks, and switching. And the other interesting thing and success that we've had is we also address key verticals in our market. So not just public and private sector, but we address cloud service providers, telcos, and HPC. We've had a large success this year in HPC with two major research institutions in Canada. We should have well over 50 to 60% of the market share. Just keep your eye on those IDC results in the coming quarters. More importantly, we're actually in 9 of the 10 hyperscalers as well. We were actually doing their infrastructure. So you have trust and capacity with the corporation that actually builds infrastructure for some of the largest corporations on the planet. All right, so that's a wonderful statement of credibility from security to incredible design and intelligence into our machines. And let me take you through the fun part, which I think most of you are really interested, which will be, let's talk about some of the promotions that we have in the infrastructure group. So this one is Mission Acquisition. So it's powered by the NCB, which is basically a new customer buyer form or list that you'll find in your LBPE portal. So don't worry, you don't have to go hunting for it. It will all be in your LBPE portal, excuse me, for you to leverage. This is how you're going to validate which customers apply for some of these additional discountings. And remember, again, we are newish to the infrastructure world. We've been at it since 2014, so 10 years. It's kind of new, but not so new that we don't know what we're doing. Because again, we bring in that big blue heritage into our capabilities, and we've extended far beyond that in innovations and support. So the key here is just to focus on mission acquisition, which is customers that have not purchased from Lenovo before, and that's a very extensive list. So you should have a lot of opportunity to fill your buckets and fill your win room. Your own independent win room awards and conversations within your own organizations. So this is our way of helping our partners be more successful and competitive in a direct world, as we know, as it can happen. And obviously with white space is a really good place to start when you're looking at growing your own organization instead of share shifting from other partners or yourselves. So further to that, we also have a storage and switching promo, Carpe DM, as they say, seize the day. Why not seize the storage and seize the brocade? So these are pretty much, I'm not going to read the slides, but as you can see, there's some additional discounting that are exclusive of the mission acquisitions. So these are actually on any customer across the portfolio that we service. And so they give you additional partners. As you can see, all partners are eligible, all end customers are eligible, but you've got to make sure that you use the LBPE tool. I will tell you, we got to go fast. LBP is a very fast quoting tool and is very, very excellent at providing you the pricing that you need to win. If you ever have a concern about the pricing, for example, or you know that you're in a distinct and very competitive scenario and you have some market intelligence that indicates otherwise, you can absolutely engage our LBPE team or our end user team, which work with you to help get you some better pricing. So never just take things at face value. If you have a business value proposition and a conversation you want to get started, we are here to help and support. And so just to go a little beyond that, around our storage platform, which is centered and focused on ONTAP. So very familiar to a lot of customers that are out there that are already working with NetApp, massive install base. We're not necessarily looking to shift it, but what we're doing is we're emphasizing the familiarity that customers have with the OS, the GUI, and how easy it is to move or port new workloads or new storage workloads into the DG or the D series that we have. So we have DE, DM, and DG. Those are 3 different flavors of our storage product, but this is just sort of a canned slide. I don't, again, want to read to it, but again, noting that there are Leap rewards within our Lenovo channel program that you can leverage by selling our storage. So fantastic credibility, amazing resilience, very fast performing, and fully feature rich would be our storage platforms based on which series or tier that you're selecting for your solution, but do know that you're entrusted and in good hands with our technology. And here's the Leap rewards in a little bit more detail based on product series. So you can see that it can be very lucrative in addition to all of the other rebates and dollars that are being provided to our solution partner community. I don't think I need to stay too far on this one because you want to make sure you have time to get back off this call and get back selling. Pricing updates, there is a grid that will appear in the LBPE portal. It'll be specifically to the Carpe DM and DB, which is the Brocade switching. They will automatically apply to your bid, and they will also give the same discounting on all the other products as the auto grid will. And you'll be familiar with that since everyone here has quoted or won with Lenovo in the last month. And again, thank you for that. Furthermore, we wouldn't just sell product without making sure we support it without a really good, strong response and capability. And so our premier support is a tier 1 enterprise level support model that we extend on all of our infrastructure platforms. Just make sure that you know where your customer resides. And you can see at the bottom to use the Lenovo Services Locator tool, that using the customer's address, we can identify which service support level is applicable to that customer. That will help you be sharp when you're having customer conversations on what kind of mission critical 4-hour or other types of support that your customer needs. So really good at helping you quickly assess what level of support you can incorporate into the solution stack in order to make sure that you have a Lenovo supporting your customer going forward, because nothing goes wrong, but when it does, you want to make sure that you have a resilient support team to take care of it so that it's not on your head. And we will always work collaboratively with our solutions provider community in resolution. We do it transparently, we do it hand in hand, and we take accountability where it lies. So let me, before I pass it over to the next good friend of ours, I just want to ask a question around, are you finding less reliance, on traditional on-prem infrastructure, and are customers asking exclusively for a cloud option? So better said is, are you hearing customers say to you, we're cloud first? Now, while you're responding to that, and thank you for doing that, I will give a little context and flavor for you to help you in your selling motion. As we all know, cloud is not a thing, it's a strategy. It's a concept of execution. And so when a customer says they're cloud first, that is a direct statement that they are not cloud only. And cloud first could also mean hybrid on-prem. So don't mean that we have to hang up the phone and know that there's no opportunity because it's all going to Google or AWS or some other hosting company. There is still an opportunity with that. And I believe when a customer takes that position with you, they may think that they're pushing you away. But to be honest, that is a conversation beginner. It's the start of a conversation around what that cloud conversation could look like when you think about securing that data that is so valuable and is the lifeblood of your customer's success, right? So you're always having those conversations, and it's really truly comparative. And this is nice and refreshing to see that this might have been about 6 months to a year ago, 100% is the conversation. So it's nice to see that I think customers are now starting to consider that cloud is not the only way to do things. I mean, we did it before cloud. We did it, before that we didn't have cloud, and so there's definitely things that we're seeing in the market that are reverting back to the traditional 3-2-1 types of solution architecture that we've seen in past. And then we all know this is because capital costs out of control, owning and maintaining the infrastructure, and really just being able to touch and feel it, right? Like a petting zoo, want to have your architecture and your data really close at hand, given all of the risks that are out in the market. And so with that, thank you very, very much for spending the time with myself and the team. And I'm going to pass it over to Todd Frederking. Todd is going to take you through SDI. Take it away, Todd.
Thank you so much. Jason makes a really important point. The definition of cloud here is important. Many of us have been conditioned to associate that only with the public cloud, but as customers continue to understand the unpredictability of cost and some of the other things around public cloud, the idea of creating private cloud and then how those interact in a hybrid cloud topology continues to be something that more and more customers are interested in exploring. And in fact, some of the biggest organizations continue to repatriate on-prem into the public cloud for cost and security, to name a few of the reasons of why they're realizing that, to Jason's point, that cloud is ubiquitous and can take on a lot of different meanings. My name is, as Jason mentioned, my name is Todd Frederking, and I run a team out of Denver that we refer to as a channel engagement team. And our focus is growing ISG and specifically SDI pipeline in the channel for North America. And what I want to chat with you about today is having meaningful conversations with customers that are going to create pipeline. And to be clear, this is not a pitch for any particular solution, but instead, what I hope you take away from this is a framework for a conversation. And in what I share with you today, I want to do a few things. I want to show you some highlighted differences between Lenovo and our competitors. I want to highlight some differences between VMware and some of the alternatives that we're finding that our customers are considering right now. And then I want to talk very briefly about how you can actually leverage the Lenovo ISG team to go create pipeline with your customers when you might not be a Lenovo ISG or certainly an SDI expert. We're here to help you do the heavy lifting. And so Jason did a really great job of giving a detailed look at the ISG portfolio. A couple of things I'll add to it. As recently as a few days ago, CRN announced that Lenovo was one of 3 finalists in their annual award for artificial intelligence infrastructure. And so we're quite happy for that accolade. And look, maybe some of your customers are not necessarily buying multi-GPU boxes, but from a credibility perspective, it's a helpful note to share with customers that may not even know we're in the data center. And then what I want to talk about specifically is beyond just our server portfolio and beyond our storage portfolio that includes both SAN as well as network attached storage. We have a very robust hyperconverged infrastructure portfolio that includes turnkey solutions for not just VMware, but for Azure Stack HCI, Nutanix, and Scale Computing as well. And so I'll talk specifically about SDI here in just a second, but before I get to that, I want to take a minute to highlight how Lenovo engages with the channel and how it's a differentiator for us. And Jason alluded to some of these things. So Lenovo is more than just channel friendly. Lenovo is channel dependent. And some estimates that I hear inside Lenovo indicate that as much as 80% of the ISG business in North America goes through the channel. And look, market conditions are going to fluctuate from year to year, but you saw the quote in writing from Dana Ryan about the channel, and we hear her say inside the walls all the time, we're never going to have as many people as our competitors, so we have to rely on the channel. And this concept sets the table for how Lenovo engages with the channel. One of the systematic ways that plays out is deal reg. When partners register a deal, it's for the whole customer and it's for the whole portfolio, and it's for 6 months with an option to renew. And what this does is it prevents the kind of bad behavior that we hear from our competitors, where, say, a partner registers an HCI solution and then the vendor takes a pure play storage deal direct. And then finally, and I'm trying to get my animation to work here. Mission acquisition, which Jason spoke to. This is, to be clear, an additional 10% discount for white space customers, and it's only available through the channel. And so when our partners consider who to work with, it's not just about the solutions that solve customers' business problems, but it's also about how Lenovo values the channel and what that means for you in your day-to-day business. And so let's level set. Many customers, most customers, one might argue, associate Lenovo with desktop solutions. And while it may be a little more work on the front end, by focusing the conversation on what's happening for the customer, we have an opportunity to differentiate. I came up through pre-sales at a competing OEM, and in the aftermath of the VMware acquisition by Broadcom, they're being very prescriptive on the front end. For enterprise customers, it's PowerFlex. For commercial and mid-market, it's 3-2-1 architecture with PowerStore. They're moving towards their IP, and they're pitching solutions oftentimes before they even understand the problem that the customer's experiencing. And when we say that we have to be better than the rest, it starts with creating value by understanding customers' needs and then following the data. It does not mean what I call beating our customers over the head with what I call the pitch stick before we even let them share with us what's going on in their environment. A significant component of the value proposition for customers around any hybrid cloud solution is right sizing. But I want to offer some quick commentary on what actually drives right sizing. And it's not about what Broadcom says. It's not what any particular OEM says, or even what I say. It's about what the data says. And what you're looking at are screenshots from OneIQ, which is the tool that we use to collect data about what's happening in a customer environment in terms of provisioning and utilization. And then we can also use OneIQ to visualize that data for the purposes of sizing or for right sizing. And look, we certainly recommend OneIQ for data collection, but it's not about which tool. If a customer has a recent live optics export, or if they prefer to run RV tools, the focus in this conversation should be on the data. And I want to make a point about this data. I've looked at a lot of these collections over the years. Rarely do I see customers over 5% CPU utilization, which means particularly in the post-Broadcom acquisition universe, they're licensing hardware that they're simply not using. And those licensing costs specific to VMware have gotten wildly expensive. And so when we talk about right sizing and we talk about customers paying costs only for what they need, the solution starts and ends with the data. So with or without right sizing, servers are machines, and as machines age, they wear out, and they start causing more problems than they solve. About this time last year, I retired a Subaru that I owned outright. I was no longer making payments, but it was starting to act like an old car, and it was causing more problems than it solved. And I said, okay, enough is enough. I'll take the car payment. Over time, components in a server wear out, which leads to more frequent repairs and replacements. And this means an increase in IT staff time, lost productivity, increased support calls, and even costly unplanned downtimes. Aging hardware becomes less efficient, which requires more power to run the same tasks, and more power costs more money. Outdated hardware can be a security concern. We saw a survey earlier indicating that if memory serves, 100% of the time, security is coming up, and older hardware can be a liability in the light of security. Not only does older hardware require more power to do the job, it generates more heat, which means more power to cool. Lenovo continues to innovate when it comes to cooling with technology like Neptune that Jason mentioned. But knowing that customers are rarely using more than 5% of their CPU, the question is, whether it's VMware or one of the alternatives, why would a customer endure the increased cost of managing old hardware in addition to paying to license cores that they may not even need? I'd like to talk through Lenovo's SDI portfolio at a high level, and I'd like to start with VMware. Look, there's a reason that Hock Tan paid $69 billion for VMware. VMware built its reputation on rock-solid virtualization technology, offering unparalleled features around a number of categories, like security. NSX offers features like micro-segmentation. Performance. VMware is known for consistent performance. Maturity and reliability. That performance that they're known for has been built over years of refinement, and it's delivered a proven track record that customers can depend on without surprises. The ecosystem. There's a huge landscape of integrations and partners like those on this call that customers can depend on. But in order for any of these to make the juice worth the squeeze, right sizing wins the day. Customers should not be paying to license hardware they're simply not using. Resource optimization was what this whole virtualization thing was about in the first place. For customers who want to stay on VMware, resource optimization is now mission critical in making a VMware solution that works from a budgetary standpoint, which is what all the customer pain that we're hearing about right now is around. Customers are definitely looking at Nutanix. There is a potential cost savings. True single pane of glass management is attractive. Scalability is similar to VMware in that all you have to do is add nodes if you need more capacity or more performance. And Nutanix continues to widen their integration net with hyperscalers, particularly around GCP. For customers, Nutanix can be complicated. Migrating, at least from VMware, it means walking from their current investment, which can be daunting. There's not always like-for-like feature parity, like take distributed resource scheduler, for example. In VMware, there's not an exact replica of that functionality in Nutanix. And Nutanix does create some vendor lock-in, which for anxious VMware customers who feel that vendor lock-in is a big part of their problem, this is also a consideration. Full transparency, like so many others, I had to take another look at Azure Stack, and I'm glad I did. For customers where you may already have a Microsoft footprint, this could be a very easy and natural conversation to have with your customers. Azure Stack offers simple deployment and simple user experience at an extremely competitive price. And because the architecture of Azure Stack starts in the public cloud and extends on-prem, it's a truly seamless integration between private and public cloud. The architecture gives customers a much different hybrid cloud experience compared to VMware. It's easier, and they get to use familiar Microsoft tools to manage their environments. Lenovo offers in-house services as well as third-party services for Azure Stack migrations, but this is also a services opportunity for partners in order to help customers get from point A to point B. One thing I'll also add, particularly for the commercial and the mid-market customers, the Azure component, the public cloud component of Azure Stack, and the potential unpredictability of cost has been a point of resistance for some customers. In very recent developments, like in the last 2 months, through our partnership with Microsoft, Lenovo offers an OEM SKU that licenses Azure Stack for the life of the node. It's perpetual. And if you've talked to any VMware customers, perpetual is a word that they haven't heard in a while and they may like to. While this is not a fit for every customer, for mid-market customers that shy away from the public cloud due to the perception of unpredictable cost, this could very well solve the objection. There's other options as well. While Scale's been around since 2007, they are considered by many to still kind of be emerging, although if you talk to the Scale guys, they're having a bang-up year. Citrix has made a name for themselves in the VDI space, but it still requires underlying architecture, infrastructure, excuse me. But I will say this, Azure Virtual Desktop is quickly gaining in popularity, and particularly since AVD's general availability for Azure Stack HCI was announced, which was, I believe, in February. This means that it can run on-prem. This means that it is way less expensive to run Azure Virtual Desktop as compared to the public cloud. Red Hat OpenShift requires specialized resources, which historically have provided a barrier to entry for some customers. But the good news is that Lenovo is well positioned to meet customers where they are. With validated hardware solutions for all these platforms, customers have a partner that they can trust in finding what uniquely works for them, particularly when it comes to the budget. Our first opportunity is awareness. Lenovo is the best kept secret in the data center. Our biggest opportunity is at that. If partners on this phone can get us into customer conversations, we can do the heavy lifting. We can show that we not only have a data center story, but we have a really great hybrid cloud story, and we can provide options that can very well solve their business problems. Specific to how we compete with solutions like VxRail, VxRail ties the licensing to the node, which provides for vendor lock-in. With ThinkAgileVX, licensing is and has always been fully transferable, offering customers more flexibility by avoiding vendor lock-in. Dell's showing renewed focus on Nutanix, but they're not talking about Azure Stack, which means this is an open lane, particularly for customers that are Microsoft shops and looking for alternatives going forward. And then finally, compared to Dell, like we saw in the statement that Jason shared, like I shared with what we hear come from directly out of Dana's mouth inside the walls of Lenovo. Lenovo doesn't just leverage the channel when it's convenient. Lenovo relies on the channel. And so for current VMware customers, to get this conversation started, it's actually pretty easy. Customers are wrestling with this problem right now, and they're on a clock, and they likely need some help. So how can we help? Well, we simply ask them, what's the plan? And for customers that are not VMware customers, it's a similar question, which is, what's your plan for hybrid cloud? Then whether it's OneIQ, RV Tools, or even the competitor's tool, let's get the data, and then we can spend some time with that data. The Lenovo ISG team is here to support you in this motion. But once we have that data, we meet customers where they are. And maybe that means staying on their current platform with more right-sized hardware that's more cost-effective. Or maybe that's a new platform that offers more seamless hybrid cloud experience like Azure Stack, thoughtfully sized with careful and methodical consideration for the migration. But either way, we let the data lead us to the pipeline. And so partners don't have to be steeped in Lenovo SDI expertise to find pipeline. Again, we can do the heavy lifting. All we ask is that you broker an introduction between your customer and the Lenovo ISG seller aligned to that account. There's lots of folks on this call that can help create that mapping. And to be clear, this introduction is not a pitch. It's an opportunity to understand what's going on in the customer's environment, share with them what Lenovo is up to in the hybrid cloud space, and put faces with names so that when the time is right, Lenovo can add value for the customer. And then I'll close with this. Here's a mistake that I'm watching far too many partners make in the aftermath of the Broadcom acquisition. A customer is begrudgingly ready to bite the bullet on VMware licensing. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that phrase as it relates to Broadcom in the last 6 months. Customers are on a clock, and Broadcom is enforcing a 10% penalty for a lapse in licensing. And when customers don't know what they want to do, particularly in the long run, they just sign on to license hardware that they simply are not using. And the partner takes the order. And rather than pumping the brakes and showing customers how a partner can actually save the customer money, partners lay down and they take the order. And when they do this, partners miss an opportunity to add value to their relationship with their customer, which could pay dividends for quarters upon quarters upon quarters to come. And what we're talking about does require us to challenge our customers' assumptions. But when it comes to VMware licensing, we can pay for the hardware refresh with what we save a customer on licensing. And in many cases, we can pay for it in year one of the solution. We'd love to build some pipeline together. I am now going to turn it over to my friend, Lisa McWilliams. Lisa?
Thanks so much, Todd. I sure do love saving money. I don't know about the rest of you guys on this call, and it's nice to see some very familiar faces. For those that were pinging me during the beginning of this call, you probably didn't know that I had taken over the role from Bill Turpkos, that I am the Lenovo account executive exclusive to D&H now. And it is still great to see some familiar faces, so I thank you for taking the time and spending it with us today. As a result, we actually have a Lenovo D&H exclusive offer to present to you guys today, and thank you for those who have stayed on till the end. The offer for participating in today's call or attending today's call is that the first 5 resellers who place an ISG order through D&H from one of 3 recommended bundles that Adrian has thoughtfully put together, you'll receive a 5% discount on that order up to $250. A couple of T's and C's that I want you guys to bear in mind. The first being that the promo ends November 30th. So all of these bundles are in stock right now. Second is that it's only eligible to people who stayed on till the end of the webinar. So there's still a little bit more to come. So no passing the buck and having somebody else do it for you. And also that you must be in good credit standing with D&H in order to place this through. And you can see those same 3 T's and C's in the bottom there as well. Adrian, I'm going to pass it back to you for closing remarks.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much. Thank you to Wasim, to Jason, to Todd, as well as Lisa for sharing their insights with us today on the Lenovo story and the Lenovo partnership and the promos and all the good stuff, and especially that last bit with VMware. We be on the lookout for a link to a post webcast survey, please. And this session will also be posted within 24 hours on the dnh.ca/solutions lab site, basically the same link that you signed up for this this webcast. If you have any ideas for future webcasts that we should be doing, please reach out to me. I'll see if I could put my slide back up on the screen there. Lenovo Canada ISG at dnh.com in the upper right hand corner is our shared email ID for getting in touch with myself and my team. And with that, thanks for attending, and I look forward to working with all of you in the future. Thank you.